Hello YouTube, today at Power Jack Repair we have a Power Spec Model number 1510. It's the same as Clevo Company or Computers, Clevo Computers P250s. It doesn't say so 250s here, but it should be same laptop, same jack. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how to replace a charging port, power connector, power jack. You see it's kind of burnt in here and something is cracked right there. So somebody already was taking it apart before. So let me show you how to take it apart, how to fix it, how to replace the power charging port on this laptop computer. I see that most of the screws are missing already. I need to magnetize the tip. So we unscrew all the screws from the bottom. Quite obvious. Okay, looks good to me. By the way, we do sell the connectors on our website. The link should be below. So if you just need the part, you could order it from us, or you could order it anywhere you want. You could also send us just the motherboard. We're gonna fix just the motherboard, or you could send us the whole laptop. I haven't seen the 510 here before, but I assume it's just like any other Clevo system or any other power spec, probably nothing special. Let's try and get all of the screws out. All right, stuff right here. Alrighty. What's this? Let's take a look. Oh wow, why would you put a metal bracket on the inside so that everything would just overheat and die someday? Yeah, great design. Alrighty, so what we want to do first is we need to disconnect the battery, because if battery has any charge in it, we don't want to cause a shortage on the motherboard. Alright, so the battery is being disconnected by unscrewing the screws here. Alright, so we got 3 screws just here. This screw is not screwed in, that's probably from the top. Maybe somebody was already unscrewing it before. The battery, if you're replacing the battery, here is the battery. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera. Here is the information from the battery. P650-4. Alright? That's if you're replacing the battery. Now, let's see what we have to deal with here. Wow. Wow. Let's unscrew the SSD NVMe chip. It's gonna come out. You wanna lift it and pull it out at an angle of 30 degrees or so. Let's take it out. Let's disconnect the hard drive from the motherboard. Alright. Let's pull out the hard drive to the left. It should be pulling out. Nope. I got one more screw right here. Right here. Alright, let's move the hard drive out of the holder. Oh, you could put 2 hard drives in here. All right, good job. Now let's disconnect this cable from the motherboard right here. All right. Now let's disconnect. This is the cable for the fan. For this fan, this is a cable for the other fan. This is a Wi-Fi cables right here. I'm just wondering, it seems like this board and this board are both connected. And this board is connected this way. So my guess, I have to pull out all of this stuff together. Okay. Okay. The fans are obviously connected to the heatsink, it seems like. You want to disconnect the CPU fans right here. All right. You want to disconnect, unscrew the screws on the motherboard. All right, we unscrew the screws on the motherboard. Next thing, we're gonna unscrew this fan here. All right, and we're gonna unscrew this screw right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got a whole bunch of cables underneath. So I'm wondering if I need to, yeah, probably need to, I need to unscrew the keyboard from this whole thing. But before that, what I need to do is I need to disconnect this fan. I need to disconnect this LED LCD cable. All right. Let's set that aside. Unscrew the board here. Disconnect this cable right here. This is a tape. You want to lift up the tape and pull this guy away. Okay. All right. Looks good. All right, I'm removing the bridge, whatever this thing is. Maybe it's needed, maybe it's not. All right, and now, well, somebody did screw around with it before because I can see stripped screws right here, all different sizes. These 3 are one color and this is silver color. All right, so unscrew this. Unscrew that. Alrighty. And I can't take this guy out because it's stripped. And somebody is obviously was using all the force they could get to screw this guy in. Alright. Let's pop this guy off. Ooh, what's going on here? Yeah. Okay. So we remove the heatsink from the motherboard to get the closer access to the connector. This jack is for sure for sale on our website. Well, it's gonna be like a few hours after I'm gonna post the video because this is, I know this jack from other laptops I work on here. All right, so another screw right here. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so my understanding that I need to take the keyboard out, and the way I take it out is by moving this guy away here And there is a hingy thingy here, and saying this is also another hingy thing right there. Okay, looks good, looks good. Okay, let's flip this guy over. Oh, by the way, let's clean up the CPU and GPU first. This is the GPU right here. The reason we want to clean it up because you know, that might not even be the jack, because if people already put their fingers in here, probably something else is the problem. Could very well be, because if you put the pads improperly on those memory chips, you probably gonna be overheating one of them, and the whole system gonna die. And nobody gonna be replacing those chips here in the United States, because it's just too time consuming and nobody gonna pay for it, because I mean, you could get paid more working at McDonald's than working fixing stuff like that. So I think McDonald's pays now like $20 an hour or so. And then you will get paid. Here you only get paid if you fix stuff. If you end up making stuff work. If it doesn't work, you don't get paid. So it's kind of a zero-sum game. You want to attempt to try it, it's like casino. So anyways, here, let's remove, you know what, I want to put some tape on here. It's not gonna work. I'm just trying to keep the area as clean as possible, but sometimes when it all gets all over the bench. All right, so let's flip this guy open. Here we already lifted up the keyboard from the bottom. So how to remove the keyboard video is, this is how. Okay, like that. Like that. Okay, so flip this guy towards yourself. Flip the keyboard towards yourself. You don't have to flip it. You actually do it like that. You disconnect these guys here. Like that, like that. Like that, like that, like that. Like that, and like, good job. So we put this aside, the keyboard that is, and now here we want to disconnect this cable here. All right, here we want to disconnect that cable there. You see, easy. All right, and again, the reason I show you all those videos, so you could just save money by sending us just the motherboard, so we wouldn't have to spend our time trying to disassemble everything here. I wonder if I need to remove this guy here. Probably not. Just wonder if the... By the way, you can add 2 more memory chips onto here under the keyboard. All right, let's disconnect this guy. This guy we're gonna leave in there. All right, so looks like we are able to move this guy out. Yep, so it should be movable. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna disconnect it like that and lift it up like that. You see, piece of cake. Now this guy obviously fell off, just no big deal. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay. Well, basically, well, let me bring another camera in. Here. This is what's going on. Everything is pretty much fried in there. All right. The connection wasn't solid, so things got fried. Let's put some thermal Kapton tape right here to insulate the connector. Let's remove this guy right here, because this is all gonna melt for sure. All right? Oh, and it's also got another one right there, which will also melt away. This board seems like it's like, no, well, maybe it's not that thick. No, it's really thick. It's a really thick board, so it's gonna be a lot of heat. All of that stuff gonna melt for sure. So you just wanna remove it, set it aside. This stuff gonna melt too. Even though it's made not to melt, it's gonna melt when I'm gonna be applying all the heat in the world here to get this guy from the motherboard. Okay. So yeah, so what I wanna do is something like that. Let's put some tape right here to hold it down. And you wanna do something like that here because again, everything's gonna melt. You wanna put some tape right here like that. Alrighty. Now I see those little tiny components to the sides. We want to insulate that using this. This is high temperature tape, which will prevent anything nearby from flying off the motherboard. Then I want to insulate this HDMI port or whatever that port is. Alrighty. Good job. So the goal is to put some flux right here, put some solder, leaded base solder, and then use the hot air to drop this guy from the motherboard. Let me show you how to do that. Alright, sorry, one of the clients called. Usually we just say please text us or email us. This is a brand new jack right here, which we're gonna install right there. It's exactly the same same manufacturer, same everything. Yeah, so let's begin by I want to just put a little bit more tape here so that this piece won't be flying off anywhere. Alrighty, I hope everything is in focus and hopefully there is no shakes on the camera because we got loud exhaust that blows the air through. We got the hot air that's gonna be powered up in a second. Let's make sure none of it interferes with anything. Alrighty, let's put the hot air next to the jack right here. And let's power up the hot air. And let's add some leaded base solder to the equation. Yeah, this board is extremely... Yeah, you need to put a lot more heat in here than I expected. Alright. Let's put a lot more heat, a little bit less air. Because the more air moves, the cooler it gets. But if the air is kind of hot, like we're getting right now. Ready? Doesn't even wanna bulge. Guys, I don't know how you're gonna be desoldering this at home. This is not even moving a little tiny little bit. Yeah. Nope. And that's the maximum heat. And nothing. Doesn't bulge at all. All right, let's add a little bit more flux. Maybe that's gonna help. That doesn't help at all. It's a first one like that. Yeah, the board is probably extremely thermal. Unbelievable. All right, maybe there is some sort of solder on the other side, but this solder doesn't want to melt anything here. All right, I don't want to overheat the motherboard. Let's see what we have on the other side. All right, the other side. Let's dilute some of the other side with the. All right. Okay. You see the hot air, how much hot, you know what, how about I'm gonna reduce the hot air flow. The hot air is working because you could see that everything melts away. Let's bring it closer to the source, like that. And come on, seriously, this should be coming out already. Oh, right there, it started to bulge, finally. Okay, little by little. All right, good job. Good job. Let's reduce the hot airflow. The temperature of the hot air is going to be reduced. And now we're just going to suck all of the solder from the connections. Okay. Alrighty. And for some reason it doesn't even want to flow. That's really interesting. Whatever solder they used on the original solder doesn't even want to flow. I haven't seen anything like that in quite some time. What I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to dilute the old solder with the new solder so that everything would flow. Oh, wow. There's so much hot air in there. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, I see why. So the problem was that this thing right here. Oh wow, it doesn't even want to flow here either. What kind of solder was it? What do those guys use? That's the question. Usually it's a silver-based solder, but in this case they probably use some sort of alloy. That's go figure. Let's try and get this guy. Okay. Alrighty. All right, let's flip this guy over one more time and see if we can get the remaining stuff from this center pin. Yeah, okay, so this guy should be nice and clean. Good job. All right, enough of the hot air. Shut down the hot air. And let's take a look. Yeah, that's probably not really unsolderable if you do it at home, guys. I don't think any one of you would be able to do something like that. So you know what? My advice is send it our way, we're gonna fix it up. Otherwise, you're gonna probably break something while you're doing so. I never usually say that for any other laptop makes and models, but for this guy, alrighty. So we have to make sure that the new part is sitting extremely straight. All right. And before we're gonna solder anything, I see the problem. The problem is the trace is right here. The one that's supposed to conduct the electricity is on the top. But the soldering job was done on the bottom. And that's the reason all of those connectors on all of those laptops will be failing. Because there is not enough solder coming through to the top side. And that's your problem right there. Okay. So I just put the new part in. Basically what I meant to say, the traces are on the top. There is nothing here on the bottom that conducts the positive. So you could solder on the bottom all you want, and it's not gonna conduct anything because the solder needs to be done on the top. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna, I think I put some flux in already. Did I? Let's see. All right, let's see. All right. And it doesn't even want to solder. I mean, I don't know how much temperature needed for this solder to flow. This board is not solderable. I never had this issue before. Everything is not the way how I like it. You see, the solder is being left with the blobs on the top, meaning the solder doesn't get a good joint. Yep, it's not joining anything. All right. No big deal, we're gonna make it work. All right, like that, and like that. So yeah, no wonder there was a problem to begin with. Everything's nice and straight, that's what I wanted. Here is the most important part. Here is where you need to solder it well, here in the back. This is the soldering point right here. Okay, come on. Nope, it doesn't even. Yeah, this is not the best. I'm not happy with this thing. It doesn't even want to grab to the motherboard. Nope. No way. All right. So what we're gonna do is again insulate the whole area and apply some hot air. All right. So here the whole board works as a one big heatsink that dissipates the heat. And that's the reason. And my soldering iron is mostly made for like medium type of soldering desoldering, so this is kind of a fine tip. But here you do need something heavy duty, which I have, but it's much just easier for me to do this right here. So what hot air lets me do, it lets me melt the whole thing so that everything would be penetrated much easier into the motherboard. And we're gonna add some flux so that the solder would flow deeply into the board. All right, good job, and excellent. Okay, excellent, beautiful. All right, now let's look at the other side. Let's reduce the heat a little bit because it's gonna melt the whole rear end of the whole connector. Right, and here we're just gonna solder the top. Beautiful. All right. And I didn't melt anything, so shut down the hot air. And let me show you what I meant to show you here. Let's put this guy under the microscope. I just want to, oh, shoot. I just want to inspect something here. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's power up the microscope. And you see, that's what I wanted to do. You see how this whole thing, the rear pin, got penetrated into the board right here. It's nice and solid connection right here. I have to remove this tiny ball of solder, otherwise it's gonna go all over the motherboard. And here you see the reason why we were unable to desolder it, because this portion right here, even using hot air, didn't get through from the bottom of the soldering points. So I have to solder this thing on top as well. But the most important point is right here. So this goes right here and goes to right here on the top. It doesn't go on the bottom. That's the reason why this connection has to be this solid. If you don't do the connection this solid, you replace the jacks all you want, it's not gonna work well. All right, so let me finish up by soldering here, here, and right there, and assemble it all back together. What's this thing right here? All right, so another solder ball. All right, let's take. And as you can see that none of the nearby components got damaged in any way, shape, or form. So this looks really good to me. You see everything is nice and solid. No damage anywhere. Maybe a little bit right here is just a flux. I'm gonna clean it up if oh. Alrighty. So soldered up the sides. Right there looks okay, but should be fine. This is the bottom. Needs some more cleaning. And probably some scratching right here of the old flux. Right, we'll clean it a bit more here. Oh, you know what? This is also a trace for the right here, for the plus right here. So don't overdo on this connection because this trace could be damaged. Don't do too much soldering right here and desoldering as well. Let me clean this thing up and be done. All right. Alrighty. Looks a little bit right there. It's just some flux. It's not really gonna do anything. All right, looks beautiful. All right, guys, and the rest of I will let it dry, and the rest of the video is how I assemble it back together. Okay, so now that we have a daylight, let's see if this is gonna be good enough lights. No, it doesn't seem like. Well, I don't get any glare. Let's see if you're gonna get one light on. All right, is that good enough? Yeah. Well, no, still low light. That's too much glare. Only I would be able to adjust it somehow. Well, it's either glare or not really. I don't know how to set up this setup so that there won't be any glare from the motherboard. Anyways, let's remove this stuff. Let's remove that stuff. And let's remove this stuff. Like that. Alrighty. Here we're gonna put the insulation back on. Like that. And here we're gonna put the insulation back on. Like that. Good job. And do I have the anti-static tape here? Someplace. Here is some anti-static tape right here to hold this guy in place. You know what, I wanted to check to make sure that the pluses and the minuses are conducting fine. If the plus is conducting fine, the minus shows us zero resistance, meaning we are good to go. All right. Good job. Let's put this guy like that. And how this whole thing gonna be placed in here? Probably the same way. Did I lift? I probably did something like that right here. All right. Nope, doesn't wanna Looks good to me. Yep. Looks really good to me. This one was either going over the top or was it going over the bottom? I don't remember right now. We'll figure it out along the way. All right, so let's assemble this thing. Silver screw going in right here to hold the motherboard in place. Like that. This guy goes right in here. Now the memory chip. Was it here or was it right here? I think it was right here. So this laptop supports 2 NVMe chips. Right. SSD NVMe. Alrighty, so this guy gonna go right here. Okay. Now we gonna put right like that. The jab. And we're gonna screw the screw right here for the hard drive. Now, if the video was useful, guys, please leave a like. Subscribe, I will let you know which laptop models I would buy and which ones I wouldn't spend my money on. Basically, the rating of different laptops making models. I will come up with the video eventually. Once I get around to do so. All right, looks good, looks good. Now we need more thermal paste. And what else we need here? We need to clean up the heatsink here and here. Make sure all the pads are in place and nice and straight. They shouldn't be overlapping each other. Remove all whatever dog hair there are. Alrighty, so we cleaned up the CPU and GPU heatsink the best I could. This stuff I don't want to be rubbing around because there are a whole bunch of tiny capacitors on the GPU, which might fly off the motherboard if I would brush it too hard. So let me put some thermal paste here and here and put it all back. Okay. I put some thermal paste here. All right. And some thermal paste right there. Good job. I want to make sure it's right on top of every single corner right here. All right, so it's completely covered now. Good job. Let's flip this guy over. Okay. And like that. This one going there. Okay. So we're screwing down the heatsink from the GPU, from the NVIDIA GPU to the motherboard. All right, don't over torque it. The next thing is we want to put the wire here, and that's the reason we had that bridge, so that the wire probably wouldn't be touching the wire would not be touching the motherboard and probably cause some sort of interference. That's my understanding. Okay, like that. And like that, like that, like that, like that, and like that. Okay, good job. Good job. Excellent. Now, here's the thing. Those screws were all different. And I'm not sure why. So here, let's... doesn't seem like this is the right screw. Yeah, they came up with the different screw set here. Probably this one gonna be the proper one right here. No, I mean, no, I'm afraid putting those screws in at this time. I will try to find my own screws and connect my own screws into there. All right, so what I want to do here is connect this guy right here. I connect this guy right there, like that. Through the long screws right here. The fans for the heatsink being screwed like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, good job. Let's see if we can screw the fans for the CPU heatsink right here. Okay. And like that. All right, we got a silver screw right here. We got another silver screw going in someplace else. Probably right there. Now let's do... No, I think that's too big of a screw to put right there for the motherboard, so I will just put the silver screw right there. Need to match up the screws here. Alrighty, I was able to do perfect screws. I found perfect screws for this guy here. So next thing what we want to do is connect the antenna wires to the Wi-Fi card right here, like that, and antenna wires to the Wi-Fi card right there. Good job. Uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. All right. Oh no, we don't. We're good. We are good. All right. I was thinking we're gonna have a problem. Anyways, I want to connect the battery first. All right. All the way. Good job. Like that. Like that. Okay. Good. Just make sure not to drop any of the screws onto the motherboard when you are, and by the way, here you see, those cables are kind of not in the best shape. They are not in the best shape because somebody didn't guide them before closing down the whole thing. Didn't guide them properly. Okay, like that, and you know what, this thing probably gonna be, it's probably gonna fall open there. All right, that's that. All right, looks good to me. Okay, let's assemble the bottom portion. Okay. Alrighty. There wasn't enough screws here to begin with. Just putting them all around the perimeter. Here. And right there. And right here. Okay. Flip this guy over. Okay, open this guy up. Connect the wires here. Connect the wire for the power button right here. For the touchpad, you connect the wire right here. For some reason, it only goes at a certain angle. But honestly, when I was taking it apart, it was also at an angle. And I wonder why. I wonder why is the angle so big? I don't want to break the cable. But seriously, I mean, why is this thing so... Okay. Can we bring it more inwards? Yeah, it's glued to that top part. That's the reason we can't rotate that cable outwards. So let's see if we can just kind of pull on it this way. Okay. Okay. So what I did was I put this pick in between the cable, the glue, and whatever is glued to. And now I'm putting it in straight and close the hinge down like that. Good job. All right, and now the glue gonna kick in. Here we're gonna, whatever dog hair there are, let's remove it. Yeah, like that. And let's connect this guy like that. Okay, good job. Okay, let's see. Let's connect this piece right here. I wonder if this one goes right there or right there. Probably, no, probably gonna be going like that. So this is the lights for the keyboard. You might or might not have the lights for the keyboard. It might be an option on your laptop. And this thing gonna be going in like that. Easier said than done. Yeah. In. Close that guy down. Close this guy down. Like that. And let's connect this guy. All right, so we connected that cable, this cable, and cable right here. Good job. So let's see, we got one screw right here and another screw right there. So two screws that hold the keyboard down in place. All right, so if you're replacing the keyboard, all you need to do is you got only two screws right here that hold the keyboard down. There are no screws, unfortunately. Let's see if you're gonna be able to do this one right here. Yeah? No, useless. Too short. So let's find a longer screw to go through. Alrighty, let's see. Okay. Let's find another long screw going in here. Okay. Looks good to me. This screw requires a different screw head. Okay. Now let's see the moment of truth. Will this thing work or it won't work? That's the question. I bet that it should work because I did an excellent job, in my opinion. Yeah, so what you need to look at is inside of this barrel. If it's oxidated, you might need to soak it up in the oh, doesn't work. Yikes. Okay, now it does work. The power supply seems to be a knockoff aftermarket power supply. Let's plug it in. Let's see if we got any lights. We got two lights here on the front. Let me show you those lights. There won't be any question about it. Right there, you see two yellow lights. And let's see if we're gonna power it up. Power it up. Power it up. Okay, we got a green light here now on the, and we got Power Spec logo right there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe. Again, you will know which laptop models worth buying. You see right here is where it shows that it's plugged in right there. I just have to check and make sure that the keyboard works, touchpad works, wireless works. I can't touch the sound, but it's no big deal. Let's see. All right, everything seems to work. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care and have a good day. Thanks.